Where are the answers? Isn't there a teleprompter here?
Eric Holder, take one.
I was born in Panama City, Florida, in the Panhandle. I was raised in the South by New Yorkers. My parents were from Long Island and upstate New York.
I grew up on Long Island on the South Shore. I was studying as an undergrad nuclear arms control and defense studies, as well as Russian. And so when I was looking around at graduate programs as to who really thrived in that area, Columbia came directly to mind.
I was born in Athens, Greece, in a household that really treasured education. They just never thought I'd have to travel that far away to get it. So I was the first one in my family to come study in the United States.
Well, yeah, I grew up in Chicago, loving movies. I went off for my undergraduate. And then afterwards, I got into Columbia, which was my dream to go to film school there.
I was born and raised in New York City, born in the Bronx, spent a couple of years in Harlem, but spent most of my time in Queens, East Elmhurst, New York, right near LaGuardia Airport. And so it came down to Columbia and another school, and my father told me, now, do you want to go to an Ivy League school that's not in New York City, or would you rather go to an Ivy League school that's in New York City and have the benefit of a great education and still have access to the city that you love, and you'll get to know it, he said, in a different way because you won't be living at home. And so that's what got me to the school that I continue to love.
One of the other reasons that I chose Columbia was the International Fellows Program. So when I got out and there was a movement to rejuvenate the International Fellows Program, I felt it was time to pay back. I valued that experience so much, and so I started to make that a focus of my philanthropy at Columbia. So that was sort of how I got back into it, was through my desire to give back to that program.
So I've served Columbia in a variety of leadership volunteer roles for the past 2.5 decades. And all of these experiences actually just boil down to the same thing where I'm concerned. They boil down to a sense of community, a community that I'm very, very proud of, and also trying to help the world become a better place. At least for me, serving Columbia is not about nostalgia. Serving Columbia is about having impact.
For years, I've been mentoring, and I thought, that it would be a great thing for Columbia, particularly because when you come from New York and you head to LA, you don't know anybody there, and there's no game plan for how you're going to go forward in the industry. So the idea was that every student graduating would have a mentor. And it would be either a screenwriter or a director or a producer that would at least help them with the first steps.
Especially coming in as a transfer where I was convinced there's a bigger world out there. And Columbia brought that bigger world to me and to my doorstep and showed me, oh my gosh, you don't just have to visit abroad, you can live here. And I moved first to Japan, and then I moved to Sweden where I got my MBA and where I first got involved with CAA.
Well, I've always wanted to stay connected to the university that I love. And so I was on the board of visitors at both the college as well as the law school. I served as a trustee. There's now an Eric Holder initiative that I helped found. And that really gets back to the core curriculum and the way I experienced it. I want young people who come to this great university and who are in the college and who have the core curriculum to ask the same questions that I had. What's the relevance of these great thinkers to what's going on in 21st century America? And that's what the initiative is all about.
When I heard the news about the medal, well, that was a string of emotions.
Wait, are you sure you got the right number?
Well, I'll use a technical term. I thought it was pretty cool.
I was very happy about it, but I kind of didn't realize the magnitude of it until today, really. It's a very great honor.
I was really surprised. They had said before, it just in passing about people needing to be older to get medals.
The fact that alumni would recognize me as somebody worthy of that medal, I thought was something that was really kind of extraordinary.
And our class today, hearing all the tremendous things that they've done and accomplished.
For me, this medal is not a personal thing. I think this medal honors the CAA as a whole, and it is a tribute to the values that we serve.
The CAA has been incredibly active in LA, and they have all sorts of panels and programs and screenings. And I think all of these things are very important in creating a community.
I always leave this campus optimistic, interacting with the bright young students who are here. And as down as I might be when I drive up, College Walk and dealing with the affairs of the day, I always leave feeling, you know what? At the end of the day, this country, this world is going to be in good hands because Columbia continues to turn out great young students who are going to be leaders in this world.
It's a dark, difficult time in the world, but yes, without darkness, we can't make way for the light. And I do believe there's light. Light can be made possible through a lot of what CAA does, which is this building relationships, belonging together. Columbia is great at that. We just have to be better and work even harder, I think.